We're doing it live. Welcome to Doing It Live, episode 2, featuring one of my very close friends, Colby Martinez.
Hintzy, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. He's representing the cul-de-sacs of Layton, Utah.
That's right.
And today we're going to be talking about March Madness because it's well underway and it's overcoming my life. And the interesting thing is, I don't think I've ever watched this much basketball or really paid attention to this much, because I've never actually legitimately made a bracket that I actually cared about. I made another bracket once that I just kind of threw names together and it was nothing. But I made 4 brackets this year, and one of them actually had 3 out of the 4 in the Elite Four correct. And I still have potential to get everything right. I mean, to have my winner win, because the Oregon Ducks are having a stellar season.
Wait, so I'm guessing you picked everyone except for South Carolina then?
Yeah. South Carolina was probably the biggest surprise for me, because I think I had Villanova coming out of there just because they looked so good in the regular season.
Right. Yeah, I thought Villanova would have been there for sure. If not, they would have. I thought Baylor. I didn't think Duke would make it there, although they're pretty talented. But I don't know. I just didn't see them going that far, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty good though. 3 out of 4. It's nice. Well done. They need to put you on ESPN or something.
Yeah, I've been called for a few offers, but I've had to decline them, unfortunately. But, I know you're one of the most intelligent, sports-minded individuals that I know, and however, I understand this year, if I'm not incorrect, you didn't even make a bracket.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. So I had a baseball draft the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I kept putting off making my bracket, and then the night before the game started, I had a 4-hour fantasy baseball draft, and that pretty much took it out of me. So I made a bracket, but it was after the first day.
Oh, that just sounds like a lot of excuses to me.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, it's excuse. What's sad is I paid $5 at work, and then I still forgot to put in a bracket. So that's someone got my free $5 pretty much, which is sad.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. So I'm a big Oregon Ducks fan. That's why I put Oregon taking it all, just because I liked a lot of the players that were coming out. But I thought Dylan Brooks looked really good out of the regular season, and I'm really surprised. Someone that's coming out, they're calling him Mr. March, because Tyler Dorsey, for the past, I think, 3 games in a row, he's been scoring 22 points average, and he's just kind of been going off.
Yeah.
And so I think, that's the one that I want to talk about, because I feel like the Ducks are just kind of, everyone had probably expected them to lose to Kansas, because people thought Kansas was blowing everyone out. But Oregon really stepped up to the plate. They definitely have a chip on their shoulder, but they're doing pretty well for themselves.
Yeah, and I think I saw, talking about Dorsey, I think I saw something that he was shooting 60% from both the three-point land and inside the arc. So, you shoot 60% like that, you're setting yourself up pretty well. So he's huge, and also that I was pretty impressed with that. I caught the tail end of that game against Kansas because I was out of town, but that Jordan Bell kid, he cleaned up the glass for them. And what, he had like 8 blocks? Yeah. I think I saw.
He had 8 blocks, and he had I think he had like 12 rebounds. Like, he just went off, and I think 7 of those were offensive rebounds. He just really was a dominant presence for the Ducks, and I think he's a big reason why people play scared against the Ducks. And the Ducks, don't get me wrong, they have flaws. They got problems. Oregon's not perfect, but the analogy I've used before is, they're like Rocky. They're Rocky Balboa. Things will look bad. It'll be a brawl. It'll be a fight. They'll look like they're definitely going to lose, and then right at the last minute, they're going to win. They're going to pull something out. They're going to, take the lead somehow or one way or another. And they've been doing that so far, and they've been getting pretty lucky with their calls.
So do you think, let me ask you this, because, obviously it's going to be, I got to think, a high-paced game against Carolina. Do you think that Dorsey and Brooks can do it again for another game?
So they're probably the best backcourt, that we're looking at here in the Elite Four. But North Carolina has been playing really sound. That Luke May kid has kind of he went from regular season 5 points per game to he's averaging 15 points, and he had the crazy game winner over
right.
Kentucky, and he just was going off, and no one, he wasn't even on the radar for anyone, but they've had a lot of people step up, which is kind of cool for North Carolina, because when you think of North Carolina, you think of legends like Michael Jordan, you think of teams that you feel like really have great players and they're expected to do great, but they've had some underdogs rise up for them to help them get where they're at. So I think that one's going to be a pretty tightly contested. I think it's going to be back and forth. I can't see either team really taking more than like a 4 to 6 point lead.
Yeah, I think the thing about Carolina, man, is they're so athletic and they're so deep. Pretty deep, I should say. I saw. Did you see that Stillman White kid get in the game last against Kentucky? He served his mission here in Utah, so that was kind of cool to see him get in the game. But I don't know. I think it would be fun to see Oregon pull it out, but you got guys like Justin Jackson and Barry and Meeks and Pinson and May. It's going to be tough for them. I don't know. Justin Jackson. I thought he looks really good, but it's going to be. Here's the question: is that because Carolina usually controls the offensive boards and the glass? I think you got to see if Oregon can control that and make a dent there, or else I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be. And, Oregon's not a big team. We're talking about Jordan Bell. He's great and all, but he's 6'9". He's not a 7-footer. I think if Oregon makes it on, they're going to have troubles with the 7-footer and Gonzaga. If Gonzaga makes it through as well. I think that's going to be a hard matchup on the inside just because those guys are so big over there. But I think all in all, the team is pretty well level-minded. They stay together. I feel like they group well on offense, and it really helps them push the game forward especially against someone like North Carolina. But changing paces over to that Gonzaga game, the Gamecocks have really been shocking everyone, I think. Because their regular season was not that impressive, to be honest. They weren't very offensively talented, and to me they look a lot like someone like the Cavaliers. Who the Cavaliers right now as of lately, I think they've gone like 3-7 in their run, and they just really haven't been doing that great. But I feel like once playoffs come, I think the Cavaliers are going to turn a switch on, and they're just going to pretty much sweep the floor with everyone they play.
Yeah, I think and so you'll have to fill me in because I missed a lot of their games because, like I said, I was out of town. But obviously I saw they had all those upsets. But that Thornwell kid looks good, obviously. That Dozier kid, but Frank Martin, I got to tell you, he. So I watched his teams when he was at Kansas State and they came to Utah for the tournament, and we had those really good Kansas State teams. And that dude, he scares the living bejeebus out of me.
He's something else, dude. He's way funny though. When he's on the court, you wouldn't think so. You think he's literally Satan reincarnated to scream at his team. He just is a scary looking guy, but he likes that presence, and I think his team kind of respects that for him, and that's why I think it works so well for him.
Yeah, and I think they said something. I think I saw something on ESPN said that, I can't remember where, but they said that his team takes on his personality, and you see it defensively with how they create turnovers and they get out on the breaks and get easy scores. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can do that against a Gonzaga team who I thought when I watched them play in Salt Lake. And granted they were the number one team for how long this year, but they have good guard play, and between Karnowski and that Collins kid who's a freshman, I believe, they're pretty athletic and they're pretty deep. I don't know, they're pretty good. It should be interesting. I think this is where South Carolina. I think this is where it ends for them. Me personally, but it was a good run.
Yeah. I gotta agree with that because Gonzaga is just so dominant. Perkins, all those guys that are willing to sacrifice, and they know that they're everyone's basically against them. Everyone that's the big thing about March Madness. Everyone wants the underdog to win.
Right.
Like they hate to see someone who is who went 35-1 in the regular season. They hate to see the best record win, because that's like, oh, of course they won. That's why everyone hates the Patriots, because they always win, and people just get sick of that. But I think Gonzaga deserves it. They've been in the like Sweet 16 quite a few times over the past years, and their route to get to this to win it all has been this has been the year for them. If there's a time to win, it's now. The cards are really falling into the right places for them.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen them play their best basketball in the tournament, and I just think they have too many more options than South Carolina. Where South Carolina, I mean, if Thornwell doesn't play well, then I think they're in trouble. Whereas Gonzaga, you have a lot of the guys on their team. William Goss, and Karnowski, and Matthews, and Williams, and Collins. I mean, I think they just have more options to score. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it'd be dope if South Carolina won, but I just don't know if it'll happen. But let me ask this: who wins in a fight between the two coaches for Gonzaga and South? Who wins in a fight?
So like a fist fight brawl?
Like a fist fight, like a brawl. Who wins?
Oh man, I mean, Frank.
You gotta go Martin.
Yeah, Frank's the man. He's got such a. I think he would just scare anyone.
Do you think Frank Martin could beat up Karnowski?
No. I think Karnowski's a big boy. I think
he's huge.
I think he's pretty scary too. I'm not sure what he's growing on his face. Kind of looks like Davy Jones, with like the octopus coming out of his face. But
yeah.
But I mean, it seems to work for him, and he's giant, and he's a big presence on the inside. And I think if, like I said, they're gonna move forward. They're gonna play Oregon in the final. I think.
No.
Yep. Just hear me out. When they play, I think if Karnowski has a great game, they win it all. They take home everything. But if Karnowski doesn't show up, just remember this: the Ducks are gonna win it all. And then my bracket is fulfilled. I go down as a legend in the March Madness history books, and everything works out.
Dude, so here are two things. One, I'm kind of surprised Gonzaga didn't jump on the maybe like a Fear the Beard reincarnated with Karnowski, because that thing's pretty epic. I saw that thing when they came to Salt Lake, and yeah, that thing's pretty nice. But I gotta be honest with you, I think Gonzaga pulls it out. Obviously beat South Carolina. I think Carolina though. I think they beat Oregon, man. I'd love to see Oregon win, but I think Carolina has too many offensive weapons. They control the glass, and I think Barry and Jackson and Meeks, I think they have good games, and I think they pull it out. So I'm saying Gonzaga, Carolina in the finals. You heard it here first.
Okay, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion.
Thank you.
That's what we do here on Doing It Live. We let people be themselves. Even if they're wrong, they can still be who they want to be.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Good to be on here again. Good to be on here.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure having my first guest be such a wonderful person.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
So shifting gears to the last topic, who do you think is doing it live? Who's going to be doing it live next year in the NBA? Who do you feel out of, I guess, let's say out of just who was in the tournament, who was in the March Madness, who do you feel like is going to really make the biggest impact in the NBA? Obviously, a lot of people have been talking Lonzo Ball. They think he's really going to be the real deal. But what do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I think I'm on the same train. I think his dad is obviously a headache, as I think everyone else does. But I think Ball's going to be really good. I mean, you watch him play, and he's a pass first point guard, but he's got a good feel for the game, and I think the thing that impressed me is you really see that he just likes to get his teammates involved, and that he's not selfish with his shots, and I think he could step into a lot of those teams. and really make a difference. I think Ball's going to be good. I think Josh Jackson from Kansas will be really good. As long as he can stay out of trouble, but I think he's going to be a good player. I think Malik Monk could be a good player. I heard something, I want to say it was on the Bill Simmons podcast, but they talked about how, at Kentucky, you kind of take a step back, a team first environment. And so I think that Malik Monk, if he had more responsibility, could be an even better player than he is now. So I would agree with that. So I like Jackson. I like Ball, Monk. I mean, kind of your usual guys. You got Tatum from Duke, Fox from Kentucky, Fultz from Washington. I don't know, who do you like?
I like Markelle Fultz a lot. A lot of people. He wasn't in the March Madness. So I'm breaking my own question. But I like I've watched a lot of his highlights, a lot of the ways that he plays, and he reminds me a lot of like an Allen Iverson. If you could reincarnate him into a young, fresh player, he looks a lot like AI. Ball reminds me a lot of CP3. Very much a distributor. He's athletic. He's a little bit taller, obviously, than your CP3, but I think he's just skinny. I can see someone just put an elbow right to his gut and he'll just get soft, and he'll never want to drive ever again, and he just stays back and just turns into an assist machine. So I think he's got his place.
So let me ask you this real quick. Sorry to interrupt. Let me ask you this: if you're the number one team, who do you take?
Well, so if you listen to episode 1 of Doing It Live, you heard kind of my rant about the draft, any kind of draft. So you got to fit to your team's needs, but my guess is that, it's the lottery, so we don't know exactly who, but it could be the Lakers, could be the Suns, could be could
be Boston, right?
Yeah, well...
Well, doesn't Boston have Brooklyn's pick?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's a good call. Yeah, they actually might. So it could be. But if it's the Lakers, I think you got to go with Ball. Just because you want someone who's going to make a difference now, someone who has a lot of pressure on him, but he's willing to lead, and he's not a selfish player. That's the last thing you want when you're trying to regroup your team.
If you draft Ball, though, do you put in his contract that his dad can't attend games, or what do you do with that? Is his dad going to want to be an assistant coach?
He just might, but hopefully next season when his brother is at college, hopefully then he'll all the light will be on Arangelo or whatever his brother's name is. And,
is that the one who dropped like 90 points in a high school game?
Yeah, but I heard he's pretty good. But regardless,
all right. We're not here to badmouth anybody, right?
Right.
My bad.
Right.
My bad.
But I think his dad needs to just move down the line. Obviously it worked for Lonzo. There's a lot of hype there. So just move down the line to his younger brothers, and so he. You know what?
What though impressed me was after UCLA lost to Kentucky, they interviewed Ball, and I was pretty impressed with just the way he handled himself, and he doesn't show a lot of emotion, but. I mean, I think he looks pretty mature, and I think he's going to do really well in the NBA. I think, I know he gets a bad rap maybe for his dad, and that's another thing, but I think he's going to be really good, and I think a team would be really lucky to have him on the team. I think he's going to make him better, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'll be sure to make another podcast later, and we'll have to be talking about how live was Lonzo Ball actually doing it in the NBA.
Okay, like in the like down the line.
Yeah, like down. Later. Yeah, about 40 or 50 yards down the.
Okay. I like it.
Yep. All right.
If we're still friends, can I be on that podcast?
If we're still friends, that's a big if.
Okay. I'll take it though.
Yeah, if this gets over like 20 to 40 views by then you can be on it.
All right, buddy. That sounds good.
Good. All right. Well, this concludes once again another episode of Doing It Live. And Colby, can you end us off with what are we doing here today?
we're keeping it live.
Well, okay, we're doing it live, whatever.
Dang it.
Either way, always screw that one up. All right.
But
Take care. Like, subscribe.
hey, take care in Vegas. Don't melt down there. I guess it's not too hot yet, but good luck down there. Enjoy the games tonight.
Yeah, thanks, man. You too. You have a good one, and
right,
keep doing it live.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
All right. So you just listened to episode 2 of Doing It Live. If you liked the video, be sure to write some comments down below so I can know what I can do to improve. I'm kind of just doing this for fun, obviously, but it's kind of a cool podcast idea. So give me some pointers or give me some any kind of advice that you have for me, and I'll be sure to take into account, and I'll try to make the next episode even better. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you want to listen to more of these bad Jacksons. All right, take it easy.